Please welcome Cali and Ryan to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear us okay? Yeah, it sounds awesome. Well, thank you all. We're so excited to have you here. I'm Cali.
Hi, I'm Ryan. That sounded very scripted or rehearsed, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we didn't have time to rehearse it because we were stuck in traffic. But we're really excited to get going. Ryan, as you heard in the intro, he has a lot of exciting videos and things that we're going to share so you can get to know him a little bit better. So we will kick it off.
Okay, yeah. So Ryan and Cali, and we are on the enterprise team, so that means we travel around the world. We talk to companies like you about all the things that we're going to talk about for the next couple days. So, oh, by the way, we're also often traveling with Spence. Some of you may have met him. He's our head of product. You're going to hear a lot from him. And Steve, he's on the far left over there. He's our founder, our CEO. Again, I know some of you have met him or talked to him on Zoom or met him in person. You're going to spend a lot of time with him as well. So just think of all the places you could be today on a Monday morning. You are here in Salt Lake to talk about some really cool stuff like employee recognition and culture and appreciating people. So thank you for coming. Like, what better place could there be? Like right here in the shade of the mountains. Shang was texting me last night that the mountains don't even look real. So it's kind of a cool place to be. So to kick things off, thank you, Paige, for the compliments on my videos. I do have a couple of videos we're going to play throughout this just to sort of warm us up. And this one involves Tom Cruise and me, which we have a lot in common, mostly height related.
Hi, thank you for coming. I have a really important mission for you. And no, this is not what you think. First of all, you're good at a lot of things. You're good at the running, you're good at the stunts. Something I've heard that you're not as good at is saying thank you. Recognizing the people, the team that are helping you. Yeah, those guys right there, they can't remember the last time you said thank you. So try it out. It's not impossible. It will actually help morale. It will help the team. By the way, I'm not even sure why this message is going to self-destruct. It's not confidential in any way. In fact, you should probably share it with others.
Has everyone seen the Tom Cruise running videos, by the way? Very funny. So Paige said this best. Like this week, you're going to learn about Awardco. You're going to meet more of our people. We're going to talk about features and technology. But more than anything, your mission is the same mission here, is that we want you to leave like with a new energy, a new excitement around appreciating and recognizing people and being a champion for recognition in your cultures and taking that back and just being super excited about recognition to the point where you might even want to get a tattoo, a recognized tattoo.
Hey, those are cool tats, man.
Oh, thanks, man. This one? It's my credo. Recognize.
You have no regrets?
No way, man. It's a lifestyle.
Well, I love them.
It's kind of funny. That's not a real tattoo, by the way, but I got that at Michael's. It was like a Michael's stencil. It was the only like letters I could find, so that's why the font is that way. By the way, I have a son. The reason I do a lot of videos is I have a son who's 16. He's often here with me walking around. He's really good at video editing and video, just all things video magic. He's like way better at that than I am at actually being in videos. So do you want to see one more? Yeah. Okay, good, because that would have been really weird had you said no. This one involves Brad Pitt.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Ryan Sudweeks.
What do you do?
I work in software sales.
Such
So
bad
what
acting.
do you do?
I sell an employee recognition software. It links to Amazon.
What happened in there? What happened in that room?
I did a demo.
What did you tell Bruce?
I was just showing him how easy it was to say thank you to somebody.
Why?
Because it is. Have you heard about all the people leaving? No.
Okay, there we go. I'm always slightly worried I'm going to wake up one day and have like a big lawsuit on my hands that I'm like editing these videos, but I figure I do it on TikTok. Everyone does it on TikTok, so it's okay. So I have been in the employee recognition space for 20 years, and I know I look way too young for that, but it's been most of my adult life. And I swear every single year, Adrian and Chester can probably attest to this, we always say, this recognition is more crucial now than it's ever been. Like every year we say that. And again, that's sort of my message today, that recognition is so critical and so crucial today. If you think about the last few years, all of a sudden, a lot of us were working at home and working remote, and people were really craving connection, and appreciation was a really good way to help with that. Awardco really exploded that year. And then the next year, it was the Great Resignation, where people were leaving, and everyone was trying to hold on to their best talent and recognizing and appreciating people and the best of people. That was really important. And now, companies are slowing down. There's been a lot of layoffs, and companies aren't hiring as much. LinkedIn, I was reading LinkedIn. By the way, this is LinkedIn. We're going to do some introductions in a few minutes, but Betty and Chang. I was reading LinkedIn's talent report. They do one every single year, and it shows how across 20 countries they survey, hiring is down. So people are going to be doing more with less going into 2024. So appreciation really does matter. And so again, leave with that excitement to sort of take that back. I would say employee recognition is the hottest topic right now as we head into 2024. The only topic that might be hotter right now is this. Am I right? By the way, I have prizes. Let's see where I put them. I do have prizes. Here we go. I have a recognized card, which you can redeem. You can redeem in our very own company store for recognized gear this week. I have the first one for anyone who can tell me where Travis and Taylor Swift were spotted yesterday or 2 days ago. Right there, you were the first.
We have Swifties here. It's
Argentina. Great. What is your name? Carrie Rogers from Beckman Coulter. You really stay on top of your Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. In fact, did everyone see it? My wife watched this video several times over the weekend and was squealing each time. I don't totally get how that works, because doesn't he have like a football game or something? What's that? It was a bye week. It was a bye week. Are you a Chiefs fan? No. Who's your team?
Packers.
The Packers. What's your name?
Monica.
Monica, what company?
Exact Sciences.
Exact Sciences. Okay. Don't you love how we set you by Biogen? That was strategically planned with Alex. So, okay. So it was a bye week, I guess. That's how it works. You might not be surprised to know that Travis was rated People Magazine's sexiest athlete this year. What you might be surprised to know is that his brother was also on the list. Does anyone watch the show, by the way, or has anyone watched the Amazon show? Yes? I have to say, he's probably my favorite brother, because, I mean, clearly they have a lot of money, they have a big house, but I like when he's just in his house and there's crap all over their bookshelves. It's just a very normal life, which I think is very cool. So maybe that's what makes him sexy, is just his home style appeal. But this isn't about them. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift today, because you may or may not know this, but there's a lot that we can learn about saying thank you and giving appreciation from Taylor Swift. Almost to the point where I was going to rename my presentation, What You Can Learn from Taylor Swift About Saying Thank You. So we're actually going to come back to Taylor Swift, but first we're going to do some introductions and help everyone kind of get to know everyone.
Yeah. So before we go back to the exciting Swiftie and videos, we wanted to share all the amazing companies that are here today, both clients and non-clients. And actually, as I started to prep this, I got really excited, and I actually had a slide for each of you of all the exciting things that you were doing. And as I started practicing it, I realized that we were going to be here until Elf the Musical this evening. So I've drawn it back a little bit, especially with the traffic and everything, to save some time. But what I have done is I've listed out a little breadcrumb or a little highlight from each of the clients that are here today, just to help you guys ignite ideas, discussions, best practices, and things that you guys can discuss with one another over the next 2 days. We find that that is one of the most valuable things that we can do here, is just getting you guys talking together. What's been working, what hasn't, what are you trying to do that's unique, right? And you guys can collab together there. So just highlighting a few here. L3 Harris, we have Abby Jones here, and they're doing something really cool with their Rise Awards, where they're evolving that into their Surprise Awards, where employees are getting surprised by their leader and presented their Rise Award. These are typically filmed, right? And sometimes are even broadcasted on their quarterly SAS calls. Abby also said that this has been a really fun way for them to create excitement around their Rise Awards, right? They get exposure, people get excited, they have videos, right? And they start seeing that top-down excitement as well as the ground up. So that was awesome. We also have Penn Entertainment. Kristen, I believe it's, give me a second. Christina Carroll is here, and they're actually our company with one of the top recognition scores per employee. With 23,000 employees, they gave out 193,000 recognitions in 12 months, equating to about 8 recognitions per employee per year, which is incredible and what we're all aiming for. Also, with Aptiv, in looking at their data, there's a strong and clear correlation that we love to see in that their highest performing branches are those that are giving 10 times more recognitions than any other of their branches. So either way that you want to look at that, right? Are they succeeding and doing better because they're getting recognized, or are they recognizing because they're doing better? Either way, it's that cyclical action that we want to be seeing. To highlight some others, Pilot Flying J and Beckman Coulter. Wanted to highlight these two because they actually just launched earlier this year. They're new clients of ours and are seeing huge success. With Pilot Flying J seeing a 960% increase on their recognitions from moving from their last provider. That is incredible. We also have Beckman Coulter. They moved over this year from a previous vendor. They were able to save $800,000. Think markups, shipping, hidden fees, etc. They were able to move over. Also, something exciting, a challenge of theirs was they had a legacy platform they had to move over, right? That takes a lot of work, a lot of change management. They were able to do this in a seamless 10-week implementation process. So definitely want to encourage you to speak to both Kelly and Bridget of Pilot Flying J, as well as Carrie from Beckman. See how they're doing this. How did they work with Awardco in launching this? How did they make these decisions? We also have Madeline Quinn, who I'm not going to steal her thunder. She's from Children's Hospital in Nebraska. She's going to be speaking on a panel later, but what I love about what they are doing is they are doing patient to caregiver recognitions. So they're actually extending it outside of their employees and enabling their patients to give recognitions to their staff. So whether Madeline's going to speak to that on her panel, definitely ask her about that because it's really exciting and there might be others here, might not be patients in healthcare, but your clients, your customers. How do you want to recognize them? And how can we get creative there of extending that outside of your employee base?
Madeline is also one of the kindest people you ever meet or work with. Madeline and Katie, both. I said that to Cali, like very kind people.
So please go mingle.
Yeah.
A couple other highlights, a little bit of a variation of 2 clients, Adobe and JB Hunt, that have nailed the execution and kind of creativity around engagement and adoption of their platforms. Adobe, their engineering department actually achieved a 99% login rate by using the Earn program. They incentivized their employees to log in by a certain date and upload their profile picture to their account, and they got $5 or 5 points on the platform. So that was great. JB Hunt is also doing that. They're doing it not only with the launch, but other Earn programs. Donate blood, get organized, send your first rec, right? So those things to keep people engaged. But also, JB Hunt has created a really successful Celebrate program, really to engage their 65% population that are drivers, right, that are offline. Definitely want to highlight that because there's some other Sorensen Communication that is also here. They're doing incredible things investing into their remote and part-time employees. So definitely chat through that. See, I told you we were going to be here until ELF, right? I could keep going for ages. Really quickly, Washington University St. Louis. Ryan already mentioned Katie's here. I love this story because this is something that we're always trying to push. To improve the impact, one of their main initiatives is really to get leadership buy-in and to start seeing those recognitions trickle downward, right? And so they've seen that success in starting this. 60 to 70% of their recognitions are actually being given by the supervisor level. Also, fun fact, you could never guess who are going to be the biggest advocates of platforms. Their chief of police, actually, over a team of 70, is one of their biggest advocates pushing through that, which is really cool.
And Nicola's here, too, from Washington University. So.
And last but not least, We have Savage Services, Sizzling Platter, and Lockheed Martin. These are our newest members to the Awardco family. They're actually here and they're implementing and designing their launch program now. So they'll be launching in 2024, but definitely wanted to give a highlight as they are starting this journey. Please let them know what's worked in hindsight, things that they can know now, or start collaborating with them on that. So that was a quick snippet. I hope you're able to gather some notes and take this into your conversations over the next few days. But we also wanted to quickly highlight some of our prospects that are here too.
Which, by the way, a lot of people are already saying, we were talking to people on the buses and stuff like that. So keep doing that, keep connecting, keep talking. Here's some companies that aren't clients, but are here to learn and collaborate and talk with all of you. We talked about LinkedIn. Everyone's familiar with LinkedIn, right? It's a tool that all of us in sales use to reach out to all of you, which we love. But we have Betty from the Bay Area, and we have Shang from New York City. He works in the Empire State Building, which is very cool. His office is really fun to visit. AT&T, we have Elizabeth. AT&T, you all know AT&T, 155,000 employees in about 62 different countries. Incredible company, incredible brand. So excited that Elizabeth is here from Dallas. Intermountain Healthcare. Does anyone know Intermountain Healthcare, of Intermountain Healthcare? They're a big deal in the, of course, yeah, our Salt Lake people. They're a big deal in the Western United States, but they have about 50,000 employees. The VP of Talent, he's going to be joining tomorrow. Could be a good connection for our New York Presbyterian friends and children's. So we also have New York Presbyterian from New York. It's Kat and Kimberly. And also a very prestigious brand, 50,000 employees, one of the top healthcare, usually the top healthcare provider in New York. They kind of bounce back and forth, and one of the top in the nation, doing some really cool things, and just so happy to have them. Biogen, we have Alex over here. Biogen has a really cool mission. They are sort of like Exact Sciences, where they are creating, medicines and to control diseases like Alzheimer's, and they're all over the world, and they have about 8,000 employees. And so thank you for coming, Alex. Utah Valley University, is anyone here from Utah Valley today? I think they're coming later today, really fast growing. In fact, they're one of the fastest or the biggest employers in this kind of general area. Vertiv, where is Vertiv? Aha, right here, Vertiv. Thank you for joining us. Vertiv, really cool technology that cools down like data centers. Is that right? Yeah. About 27,000 employees. Tell us your name. Caesar, thank you. Thank you for coming. And then Ally, is our Ally friend here? Come in. Oh, okay, he was over here. So Ally Financial. So these are all the companies that are here. So get to know everyone, talk, and hopefully there's lots of things that you can learn. I don't know why I'm going back to this, but I have another quiz question. Who was rated the #1 sexiest man on that list? If I go back to that list, People Magazine's list. Right there. Patrick Dempsey, yes, you are correct. You keep up on your attractive people. Yeah. So there's a prize. By the way, I didn't explain that this prize you could take to anyone in the pink. Oh, I did explain it. And you can get something at our company store. So, okay, so for the remainder of our time, we're going to talk a little bit more about recognition and some best practices and just some tips and some ideas. And first of all, we all know this instinctively. We know from growing up, we know that it's important to say thank you. So this is my mom. That's me with hair in the 80s. Whenever my kids see pictures with me with hair, they're always sort of surprised, like, you had hair? And I'm like, yeah, I had hair. This wasn't like a permanent thing. So that's me in the 80s. My mom taught me to say thank you, as I'm sure many of your moms taught you to say thank you from a very young age. Even when you're saying, say thank you, my mom did that. My mom also taught me to say sorry. And there was a time when I was in like first grade, we were in a new neighborhood, we were building, like me and my friends were building this big boat in our backyard, and we were just gathering wood from everywhere that we could find it. And I pulled a big board out of a dam, and it happened to be a board that was very important to a very old neighbor. I swear he was probably 90, and a very honorary neighbor. And my mom dragged me over there and made me take the board back and say, I'm sorry. So those are the types of things that we learn from our moms, right? Say sorry, say thank you. These are my kids, or two of my boys. And in fact, this was, I don't want to embarrass you, Alex, but this was at Newport in Rhode Island, Newport Beach last week. It's not a really great time to visit because it was very cold. Alex got married there, she told me last week in the summer. But anyway, that's my son Jonah on the left. And Jonah he has severe speech delay. So that means besides like basic words, he didn't start talking a lot until like 6 months ago. Now his vocabulary is just exploding and he's saying everything. But it's fun to hear him be like, thank you, Mom, for this. Thank you for getting me dinner. Thank you for getting me that drink. And then our 2-year-old, that's Rhett on the other side. He just recently started saying thank you. It's typically when we change his diaper. He knows that that's a big deal, but it's fun to kind of hear. We all know it's important to say thank you, and from a very young age, but it doesn't always translate to our work and professional lives, whether it's with us or whether it's with leaders. It doesn't always happen. And here's an easy question. What is one of the number one reasons people leave their jobs? It's been on studies for a very long time. Kimberly, what's that? Yes, their managers and or lack of recognition. Let's see. I have a card for you. Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, so people don't leave companies. They leave bad managers. You probably heard that. Has anyone ever left a job because they just didn't feel appreciated? Anyone here? There's some. Taylor's very aggressively raising his hand. Chester even, yeah. I have done that. I've left a job. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, actually we won't dwell on the bad. We'll come back and talk about this. But let's come back. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift now. This is a news clip you've probably seen. This was recent. I want you to listen and tell me what you noticed.
Taylor Swift wrapping up the U.S. leg of her Eras tour with a bang.
All the trucks are pulling in.
Treating her staff in style, surprising each of the 50-plus truck drivers on her tour with bonus checks for $100,000.
Father was the one that actually presented the checks to our drivers, and he presented handwritten letters from Taylor. It's incredible that they would take that time and what it means to our staff to be recognized.
He says Swift also gave bonus checks to her band members, dancers, and technical crew. People reporting the gifts in total exceeded $55 million.
Okay, probably obvious, but what stood out in that clip? I heard a few things over here. Oh yeah, her father. What were you guys gonna say?
Well, I feel like they focus on the money amount, but it was really what the cards, what they actually talked about. Like the news talked about money, but the person talked about the card.
Oh, I like that. That's kind of what you said, right? Let's see if I have more. Thank you, Madeline. I'm actually out of these, so Paige, I might need more. So in the news, they often talked about the money. And the money was, did anyone catch the amount? It was kind of a life-changing amount. $100,000. I don't know what the drivers make, but that could be like a very significant gift, which is cool. But what I think I like even more is what you're saying, Maddie, is she wrote handwritten notes, and her dad delivered it, like you said, Elizabeth. So you may or may not, you've probably seen this clip, but what you might not know is Taylor Swift has a long history of doing this. Has anyone ever heard of this or seen this before? Like going a long ways back, if you look on TikTok or Instagram or even just Google it, you'll see videos and examples of people saying, I just got a thank you note from
I've had
Taylor
this
Swift.
card from Taylor Swift since 2010. She hand wrote me a thank you card, and it was after I met her on the Fearless Tour. I got to go backstage and meet her in Cincinnati.
So I won't play the whole thing, but I just want to read you some of these. You'll have to check them out. So observe what you think I'm after here. Alex, what a treat it was getting to hang with you backstage. Your costume was so on point, and very seldomly do I get asked about chicken nuggets. You're so sweet to care so much about me. Thank you so much. So that's one example. Let me read this one. Spike, it was so great to get to hang with you and your beautiful girls the other night at my show. Please give Natalie and Nicole hugs for me. I hope these guitar chords came in handy. Thanks for everything. What would you say is very good about these cards right here?
The personal recollection of something specific that they discussed or talked about, which really makes it clear that she remembered that specific interaction rather than just their names and sent a generic card. Also, they're not exactly the same.
Exactly. Tell us your name.
Does Louisa?
Louisa.
Does she get a card?
Yes, she gets a card. Paige, I'm all out of cards.
I got them.
Do I have more? Oh, you got them.
I just want to come say hi to you. How are you? Good to see you.
Sorry, we're just making everyone deaf.
So the personalization. Think of, Taylor Swift is obviously meeting lots of people, but taking the time to do something very personal, very specific to that individual. There's lots and lots of examples. I won't keep reading them. But if she can do that, we can do that as people, as leaders. So that's one of my first tips today. Oh, I was just going to say, by the way, Taylor Swift also learned at a very young age to say thank you. Let's see if I can do this again.
You look beautiful today, Miss Taylor.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You did such a good job.
Thank you for saying that.
Hi, Taylor. You look beautiful.
Thank you for saying that.
Like a supermodel.
Thank you for saying that.
So stunning.
You look great too.
Do anything you want, Taylor Swift. Thank you for saying that. Thank
That's
you.
a continuous shot.
Because it's a new thing for me. Thank you for saying that.
Does anyone hate Taylor Swift here? Just tell me now. Yeah.
Also, we've given you all thank you cards. Underneath, I think they're on the clipboard. So throughout the next couple days, if you want to be like Taylor Swift, please think of someone and write a thank you note.
Is anyone willing to share like a very, maybe it's a thank you card, maybe it's just a powerful recognition that you've personally received in the workplace that made a difference to you, big or small? Okay, Kimberly, thank you.
I got a thank you note from our, I don't know what her title is, SVP, like chief of staff, so like she's basically like the third in command, and she's sort of ornery. Like, she didn't actually send me an e-card, but she sent me an email where she basically just thanked me for, thank you for, I work on a lot of different projects, and thanks me for just always stepping up and leading these projects. Like, it was, first of all, it was so shocking. I was like, is it real? Like,
Yeah.
she sent me a thank you because she's sort of notorious for not really liking anyone. So,
Do you know her well?
yes, now she really likes me.
So that's awesome. So you got an email. Maybe you were a little bit scared at first, but then you saw this really heartfelt thank you.
Yeah, sort of like humanized her a bit.
Awesome. I love it. Anyone else willing to share an example?
We do annual employee awards that are peer nominated. So I got one for leadership last year after like a year of like layoffs, and my team was impacted by layoffs, and so it just felt really good at the end of the year. And they don't tell you who nominates you, and then after I won, I had like 3 people reach out and be like, I nominated you, I nominated you.
No way. So you got like 3 nominations.
I don't know how many. I didn't
That's awesome. Did you have an example? Yeah.
Kelly with Pilot Flying J. So we have a newer CEO, and so we're getting used to what he wants reported for board materials. It's always a scramble, lots of people involved, and a very short timeline. And when it was done, he sent everyone like a personal thank you for like taking the time, and that's just not something that I had experienced in the past, and I thought it was really great.
Yeah. It really makes a difference, right? Is Tanner, our COO, Tanner, he's not ornery. He's very personable, actually. But one of my most meaningful recognitions, very simple, just passed him in the hall one day. He's like, Ryan, I wish you knew how much we talked about you in leadership meetings. Something like that. That alone, I'm like, that's all I really need. I don't necessarily need points or anything. I just need to, that made my day, and it made my week, and it made me so I'm still talking about it on this stage. So obviously, it really, really matters. And so our first tip today, in powerful recognition, these are really basic things. 1, to do it, but 2, to be personal and be specific. Like whether it's to your husband or wife or spouse or a family member, or it's at work and you're writing a card, don't use general praise. Like really be specific, because it makes a big difference. Okay, so I have a quiz, and Cali will administer our prize, but I'm just going to put up a question on the screen. I'll have some answers, but whoever gets this right, just scream it out. Actually, before I have a quiz, I wanted to share some of these examples. So Madeline, again, from Children's, they're doing some cool things with patients. They've had 31,000, I think is the number, patient comments. They're obviously a children's hospital. And we can learn a lot from these as well. Like I like this one right here. The nurses were fantastic taking our daughter back to surgery. That's a really stressful time, right? If you've ever had a kid going back to surgery and you're just standing there and they wheel them away. They sang and danced with her all the way until they were out of sight from us. Not a single tear. Every nurse that we were in contact with would ask before leaving, did you guys need anything? Every single time. It was comforting because they genuinely cared about us and not just our daughter. They were gentle and used calming voices when caring for our daughter. That is very, very specific, and that's where recognition becomes more meaningful. I also like this one in the upper right. Our doctor was excellent, and I would rate him in the top 2% of any doctor I've ever dealt with in the United States. I have dealt with doctors in multiple countries. This person clearly goes to the doctor a lot. By the way, my son, just a random story, my son got his appendix out when he was like 10, and same idea where they're kind of wheeling him back. And it was like, this doctor was just so awesome. He's like walking in, he's like stripping off his like sport coat, puts on his scrubs, and just walks out. He's like, I got this. And it was a lot funnier if you were there in the moment. But just his confidence was just very funny. He's like, it's done, it was easy. So anyway, be specific in your recognitions. Okay, here's that quiz I promised. According to Gallup, how often do people need praise or recognition? Oh, you did? Oh, Kimberly already got it. Oh, it's kind of a tie. Every 7 days, every 70 days. It was every 7 days. Does anyone here do the Gallup survey, by the way? We do. You guys do? That is one of the 12. There's only 12 questions, right? It's a pretty short survey, but that's one of the questions. Have you received some sort of recognition or praise in the last 7 days? So it's really, really important to people that it needs to be frequent. So that's another one of the things we want you to take away today is that recognition needs to be frequent in your workplaces. And there's different ways to do that. A company I love is Okta. Some of you may have spoken to our people at Okta for reference calls. They're a really great client. Okta is a technology company. They do single sign-on. We have a contact there named Laura, who everyone loves, Laura Shanley. And again, they're a technology company, but they want recognition to happen frequently and to happen often. And so when they launched their program, they gave everyone this little packet, and it folds open, and inside, like I said, they do single sign-on, and they do multi-factor authentication and things like that. But in there's a card, I was going to bring one with me, where it basically says, look, there's a lot of ways to recognize. Yes, we have this new program called Okta Appreciate, and you can recognize on computers, but that's not really enough. You need to write thank you notes. You need to do shout-outs in team meetings. You need to email and copy the managers. So they were just reminding their people to not just use the Awardco platform, but to recognize in all these different ways, including they had these fun thank you cards like, again, your SSO for single sign-on. Super splendid, outstanding. There's one about MFA, which I don't even get what that means, but I read it with Cali to a client, and the IT guy in the room thought it was very funny. So anyway, you can do lots of things to kind of make recognition happen more frequently besides just like a platform that we have. Even integrating with tools that you might be using like Slack, Teams, and Office, like putting recognition front and center. We have, this is a screenshot from ours here at Awardco. We have a Recognize channel in Slack, and just real time, anytime someone's recognized, it appears on Slack because we're all living and breathing and working in Slack all day. People can comment and like. And we also have screens. As you go on a tour, you'll see screens throughout the building that have like real-time feed of recognitions. And that's kind of a cool product thing. They can talk about maybe if you have any questions about that. But there's different ways that you can incorporate recognition so it can happen frequently and happen often. Timely. Let's see. I'll tell you about timely recognition. So, and it was funny because I was going to tell the story, and then Karen, where's Karen? Karen from Savage. Oh, there's Karen from Savage. So last winter here in Salt Lake, we had the snowiest winter in history. And there was one day where we got like 2 feet of snow. And I was just kind of gearing up to go shovel. And before I could get out there, a neighbor was actually snow blowing, and he did it all. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Like, he just shoveled my whole driveway with his snowblower. And I'm like, I got to go say thank you to him. But I didn't say thank you to him. I just sort of forgot and didn't do anything about it. And then, like, it was March or April when we were both out working in our yard. Like, 3 months had passed, and I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, that was really cool of you for shoveling my driveway. So I said thank you, but I sort of missed the moment. And I was going to tell that story, but Karen had kind of the same situation. Like, same thing, right? Like, someone came and shoveled your driveway. I'm sure you said thank you to that person better than I did, but it makes a big difference. And so be timely. Have you ever done that at work where someone does something big for you and you need to thank them, and then you don't? And then you pass them in the hall, you're like, oh yeah, I need to say thank you. And then you need to ask them for help on something, you're like, oh crap, I didn't say thank you. So,
no, because we have Awardco.
Yes, that's the right answer, yes. Awardco helps make recognition be timely. So just kind of remember to just do it, and do it on the spot, whether you're writing a note, whether you're doing it in the platform. Timely recognition is always more meaningful to people.
And when you hear of timely recognition, does anyone else have any other ideas of how timely recognition can be, right? So you have timely recognition with others. Are any others doing timely recognition programs or anything of the like there?
Like associated with like world events, is that what you mean? Or
Yeah, so I think oftentimes we think timely, we should be doing, people should be recognizing timely after something happens, but something else that we can be doing is setting up programs that can be timely as well, right? So whether that's recognizing Pride Month, right, and facilitating that, Black History Month, or, other events that are happening, right? Donations to Ukraine, we have a lot of our clients doing that, donating to Maui, or even internal. Christmas is coming up, and we always do a Secret Santa here. So there's ways that we can also encourage to do it timely as well through the way we set up the programs. Keep that in mind.
I have another video for you.
Dad, what
That's
are
my
you doing?
son.
I'm recognizing somebody on my Awardco app! But why right now? Because recognition should be timely! We're going pretty fast! It's okay, I got this! Don't worry!
Okay, that's all. Recognition should be timely, right? I had to do all sorts of things to protect my phone in that situation, by the way. I learned this from the Chester Elton and Adrian Gostick. Has anyone heard Chester and Adrian speak today? I'm not going to steal their thunder or steal their intro, but incredible speakers. They literally travel the world talking to people about these things. But I learned from them a long time ago in a presentation I was at that even if, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's the World Series, the Texans, like, their recognition happens in the moment. Like, they're still sweaty, they're still just getting off the field, the confetti's falling, the music's playing. If you think about the Olympics, the national anthem, it happens in the moment. So that's why timely recognition is just so important. Instead of waiting, 6 months for the end of year banquet or whatever. Kimberly. Who is that? Can someone tell me? What's that? This is our baseball expert right here. Oh yeah, baseball. Oh, I thought you meant who, okay. Oh yeah, this is the Texans. They just won the World Series. And again, if anyone has any baseball questions, go to McKay. He'll be wearing green all week. I just went to my first Red Sox game with him in Boston about a month ago. So anyway, he's your guy. And my final point today is recognition sometimes should be rewarding. Lots of what we're talking about can just be like thank yous and non-monetary. We have clients that do strictly all non-monetary programs. There's no points, there's no monetary value. But there's times, as you know, where people deserve maybe a little bit more. So, and in those cases, the reward should be commensurate with what that person did to have the maximum impact. Not like, I saw this on LinkedIn last week. As much as I love these mints, and we gave you all some of these mints, like, you need to make sure that your recognition, and if there is a gift or a monetary value, it's commensurate, again, with the achievement. Sort of going back to that Taylor Swift thing, there was a lot of money there, which is a big deal, and they probably made a very big difference, but you have to think about that as you think. Now with Awardco, what we recommend is giving people choice. And this is my father-in-law and my wife and her brother, a very long time ago, clearly. In fact, Cassie, you'll be interested to know that at this time, this badass, my father-in-law, worked at Lockheed Martin in LA. So that's my father-in-law. And so choice to me, when I'm rewarded, at least right now, it changes. But he had a stroke just after COVID a couple years ago, and he hasn't been able to travel, and we haven't been able to see him in person. So I was able to use Awardco points to book flights to fly him and her brother to be in town later this week, for like an early Thanksgiving. Sometimes it might be shoes. Spence is the shoe guy. Where's Spence? You might see, Spence, maybe you could just shake it up and wear a couple pairs of shoes a day, because Spence has a lot of cool shoes that he could bring in. He uses his points on shoes. Cali got a Roomba. She just moved into a new house. So again, I guess what I'm saying is to make it rewarding, make sure it's commensurate, but also like our recommendation is to give people lots of choice. And that's what Awardco is very, very good at. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Personal and specific, frequent, timely, rewarding. These are some very basic best practices that will make you better at recognizing and make your people and your managers better at recognizing. So this week we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn some more. We have some great speakers. We have product speaking next. We're going to a jazz game tomorrow. I don't know if we can do this year, but last year we actually got down on the court and we got to shoot after the game. This is me, Cali, and Erica.
Really good.
Yeah, I don't know how many balls that was, but none of them went in. That was enough that one of them should have got in. But the Jazz have a new purple court. Has anyone seen the new NBA courts? A lot of the teams are doing these full-on color courts. And tomorrow's the unveiling. It's the first time, and I've heard there's some nervousness about people being on the court, so we'll see if we get to do that. But anyway, the game will be fun. And I have one more video. Do you want to see it?
End on a video?
Okay, one more. Since it's Hallmark video, or Hallmark movie time, do we have any Hallmark video movie people? I have to admit, is that it? There's only two. I saw Paige and I saw, okay. Oh yeah, here we go. They're so bad, but they're also so good. They're actually so good because they are so bad. In fact, you won't know it by name because it's not like a movie, but there's one called The Snowman, where a woman wakes up and she's really sad because she doesn't have a date. And I can't remember, somehow the snowman comes to life, and then he tells her that night he's a snowman, and he's sitting by a fire and he starts melting. Anyway, you need to find the snowman because it's well worth your time. It's only like 20 minutes. We show it like every family party now. So in that spirit, here is a special Hallmark video that me and my son created.
It's so good to be back from the big city. It's just too bad not everyone liked my message about employee recognition. Wait, what's this? It's a handwritten note from the big time executive I met with in that boardroom. She says my message resonated and she wants to buy Awardco for all of her people so that they feel appreciated and recognized. How did this happen? I mean, my demo was really good. She also wants to buy all the homemade crafts at our charity fundraiser at City Hall tonight. How did she even know? How did this get in my pocket? I guess my work really does matter.
All right, that is all we have for you. Thank you.
There's 3 more.